We don't take kindly to no trespassers on our property. You understand, y'all? You see these bullet holes? I did that.
Hey everybody, Matthew here, CanadianRenegade.com. We're out here at the property to take another look at it in the spring, and we wanted to get a better idea of some of the water flows and where it accumulates on the property. And I'll also walk through where the driveway and yard site are probably going to be. So this is the driveway from the other angle. You can see the no trespassing sign in the distance there. And if we come back, you can see that there's a wet area here before we round the bend to what will probably be the yard site up there on the hill. And so we may have to do a little bit of work in here. We might have to move a little bit of fill around so that the road is elevated and doesn't actually drop down into this wet spot. And then, but you can see, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to be out here with all the melting snow. You can see where the water, where the wet areas are and where the water accumulates and flows. So something that's good to do before you build on a piece of property is to know which areas tend to be wet and stuff. I think a lot of people might feel that it's intuitive, and it kind of is, but actually seeing it gives you a better idea. So we have to maybe move a little bit of dirt around to allow it to drain basically that way down the hill rather than coming back. And because if we put a road in here that's a little elevated, it's going to pool up, you know, right in here. So that's something to think about when we come up with our design. Okay, so you can see that wet area that I'd just been talking about down there, and then the hill comes up a little bit, and this is about where we want to have our yard site. What we're planning on doing is flattening it out a little bit, and back behind me where that shed is, we want to push down some of those trees and maybe some of the dirt from where I'm standing push back that way to make a larger, flatter area. So we're over here at the shed. I'm just going to go in a little ways here. It actually does go back a little ways, but then when you get over here, you can see it starts to drop off back towards that fire pit there. So this whole area here, if the trees, some of the trees, we won't take all of them down, obviously we want that windbreak, but if we flatten this all out, we get a much larger yard site. And you can see some of the field out there to the front and the back of that shed there. And then this is coming out the front, back out by the shed. And you can see that, so basically where those trees are, that's to the north. So we still have a north windbreak even without taking those trees back. But by taking the trees back, we get protected from both the north and the northwest wind. And that's important in the winter, being up on a hill. One of the drawbacks is the wind, even in the spring. But by having the windbreak, that'll prevent a lot of those problems. This is one of the valley lines that I identified on the topographic maps, and you can see it kind of winds its way towards the stream down there. There's not much evidence of visible erosion, but you can see that there's running water here in the spring, and probably quite a bit of water moves through this area. If we were to put a dam towards the bottom of that valley line just before the stream here, we could probably create a pond. And so these are some areas that when we were out walking around on the property today, we wanted to identify. So this is the hole in the culvert that we were out measuring in the last video we did on the property 3 or 4 months ago. And you can see it's only gotten bigger since then. So if it's not replaced soon, it'll probably completely collapse, and then we'll have more work to do on this creek crossing. Something I found interesting was how much dirtier that little tiny stream is than the larger stream. It's kind of neat seeing the differences. This is a look at the main stream after the mini stream flows into it. You can see the remains of a beaver dam, and in the background some south-facing slope. From here you can get a little bit better perspective overall of the property. Where the shack is where the yard site is going to be, and the driveway is going to come in along the tree line there. You can also see 2 of the valley lines, and those areas like was mentioned earlier in the video, might be good places to put in some dams to create some ponds. We do have quite a few plans for the property in the long run. We do want to put in ponds and swales, but this year we're probably only going to have time to do the driveway, the yard site, and maybe get some of the buildings up. So we'll see how everything goes. I'm really excited to be working on the property, but there are certain things that take priority, so if I try to do everything at once, I probably wouldn't get anything done. Alright, so that's it for today. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or experiences you'd like to share in the comments section, please do so. And until next time, take care.